Jerome JT62 back on the Pegasus 12. You'll notice this a little bit of a disassembly here, and that is because I noticed the x-axis belt. I could never center this even when I first built this machine, and that belt would always rub against the block, and I think it's causing some print issues. So I came up with a fix for it. If it sounds like something you're interested in, stay tuned. So to start this fix here, you're going to have to remove the hot end. You don't have to disassemble this whole assembly because one of the bolts for the belt, which you can see right there, is underneath this mount. The other one you can get to, but not that one. So all you have to do is remove the upper and lower mount bolt and take this whole head off as an assembly, so you're not goofing around with that BL touch and everything else. And then we'll just put it back on as an assembly. Here's the bearings. I can't find the block, the actual wood block, and this is the only wood piece in this machine short of the y-axis brackets that hold the belt under there, but I was able to center that, and it's not as critical as this. I don't know if you could catch that, but you can see that black on there where the belt rubs one side, will jump over to the other side. No matter what I did, I could not center this up. And I also noticed some galling from these washers on these bearings themselves, so this is not a good deal, and I came up with a fix for it. And this is what it is. It's a remove the wood block. Notice that wood block was also warped over time. I haven't had this machine that long, but it was warped. What this is just an aluminum bar. You get it at Home Depot, 3/4 by 1/8 inch thick. You measure it out to the length of the wood block. You can clamp it on there if you want. If you got a drill press, it's even better. If not, find the center of all three of those holes, drill them out. And these are 5mm bolts in here. You're going to have to purchase a pulley, which I'll post a link for. They're like $8. And this is a bearing pulley for a 5mm bolt. No teeth. You should have 2 spare 5mm lock nuts. Don't use the washers on this pulley or it's going to rub. And the trick here is you have to you have to run the bolt through so it'll thread the nylon portion, then flip it over so it's like a cone, and use that as your would-be washers in there. And then this will move freely. Just watch it and tighten it a little at a time until you catch it and there's no binding on there. And then this is the fix for the wood block that used to be in there. Now there's a metal piece, it's not going to warp. And another thing you're going to have to purchase, I believe those screws, the 3mm are 16mm long. They're too short, and that's also part of the issue. I purchased 3mm by 25 socket head cap screws, and we're going to use those for to extend that belt out and center it up. Oh, and incidentally, make sure you're not a stupid head like me and get shoulder bolts. You probably have to get them stainless. Make sure they're threaded 25mm 3. Make sure they're threaded all the way down. There's the bearing block installed. Forgot to mention the upper and lower bolts that mount this on. You're gonna have to either shave or cut those down to 8mm because the originals in here are gonna be too long. So cut them or put them on a belt sander or whatever. Shave them down to 8mm. I reinstalled the mount assembly after putting in the 25mm screws. We'll go ahead and turn this around in the back and I'll show you how I align this. So here's the back side here. You should have some extra 3mm screws. I had a bag of them with probably 20 in there. What I did was run one of the lock nuts down in there, and then what I do is just take this belt and get like a deal here and just push that down and make sure these are centered. So run the inside lock nut now until this belt is centered, and then take a second lock nut and just run it down until it touches the belt on both sides. You may have to readjust the, let me get a shot of that, the idler on this side, the gear tooth. I had to slide mine in a little bit more because this gear in here is now more centered within the extrusion itself. It's pretty much dead center. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten the belt up. Take a look at it. So I went ahead and retensioned the belt here. It slides absolutely freely now. And there's no more rubbing in here, or there won't be. So I haven't done any prints with this as of yet. We'll see if it solves any of the ringing problems I see on my outside edges. But at any rate, if it doesn't, I think it will have an effect. This idler with the bearings as it stands still needs to be redone, in my opinion. So that about wraps up this video. A little bit shorter than my usual stuff. And next up on the plate, the next video coming up, my spool rewinder. Be coming up shortly. So once again, please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. I'll post a link for the idler. We'll call this done. Thanks for watching.